Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about primal. And you're probably wondering who primal is. It's an entity who haunted me and my friends roleplay world. But let's just start from the beginning. Alright? I'm going to be talking about primal in a sec. It all started when I got inspired by Afghan to make a roleplay world where I could play with my friends. It was half a year ago. Oh, did I always say that? I probably already said that. But it was just a normal world at first. I began building the houses for me and my friends. They chose the colors. It was me. That's my house. And that is Crafty. And here we have Popcorn. Here we have Jenny. And here we have Cat. I'm of course not gonna say their real names because it's private and I think they don't want me to say their real names, so just to be very private, I'm just going to keep it this way. And I also built a little mine for me and my friends. We were very good at mine. We mined a lot, trust me. And I of course built a spawn for me and my friends and some rules. So everything would be in order, just to keep it very peaceful. And there was two admins. Of course me, and we have Crafty. Me and Crafty, we were the world's admins. But someday, some bedrock appeared. And I don't know where the bedrock came from, but it led somewhere. I asked Crafty. He wasn't the one who placed them. But who was? No one else was in creative. So I followed, and as you can see that the bedrock is showing us where to go. Me and Crafty we investigated a small house. And this house belonged to someone named Victor. And I didn't know who Victor was. So we went into the abandoned house. And we found a chest. But there was a book that says something below, and then I decided to dig underneath the chest. Then I found a second chest that showed me a lock of Victor that showed me the way to somewhere else, some coordinates. I didn't know where the coordinates was, but there was a bunker apparently. So before we went further, we found a small grave. The grave was of Max, my beloved dog. And that was pretty sad to see a grave near an abandoned house. And that it was really, really sad. But we went to the bunker and we found something behind my throne in the admin temple. A hidden door. Then went down into a small bunker, and behind the painting was, you guessed it, a room. And that room showed us some coordinates to a base. The base went way down and into a tunnel and over to a base. This base apparently belonged to Primal. And let me just tell you something afterwards, after this video, about who Primal really is and how he became what he is. But this was apparently his lair, and it was actually at 666 if you stand on the crafting table, which was pretty creepy, if you ask me. So yeah, we checked in the chest. There was speed potions, harming potions, invisibility potions, jump boost potions, and there was a small cave. And then we came back to our bases, but they were completely destroyed. Of course, there's no hole on this pic because I just took those pics today. But it showed before there was actually a big explosion near our house that left our house in ruins. But I managed to build it up again. We were pretty sad. So, and I began building something underneath. but it wasn't the only. We went to face Primal, as you can see, this battleground, and we went to hide in a small villager house. And when we went to my bunker, there was of course my bedroom, a small farm, and a small thing here. That hallway, of course, led to my underground, I don't know what to call this, a room that looks like the overworld. And this was the bunker until Primal found it. I don't know how he found it. It was so hidden that it was impossible to find. But we hid behind the sun, as you can see on this pic right here. We hid behind it, and we kept quiet, and we could see Primal's username through the wall, and we were pretty scared, but he never found us. So we were pretty relieved. But I had to ask people, why was this happening? So I began, investigating. I asked all the players on a court, in the court, as you can see right here. I built a court in the sky to ask all my friends about it. Of course, me and Crafty was innocent, but I had to ask the others. They didn't know anything either. They had also had a feeling that they were being watched. So I almost gave up, but then I began planning on what to do next. And let's just say it was pretty dumb, but it was the only thing that I could think of. And that was to trap Primal in a small prison that I made out of bedrock and obsidian. I made a small ritual, as you can see, and as you can see, the sky throughout the pictures have been quite gray, but there was no weather at all, and there was no rain either. It was just so weird and bizarre. And so I did the ritual, and after that, nothing happened anymore. We were free and peaceful. But around Christmas, I still felt that it didn't feel safe anymore. So that's why I decided to lock down the whole world and keep Primal trapped in there forever. And I haven't heard about him. I have heard about him, but I haven't heard something from him since. So, and that's why I decided to make the new roleplay server. So the actual roleplay server. So, yeah. And if you wonder who Primal is in the first place, it was my second account, but it was never actually a second account. I didn't even play on that account anymore. So how can it even be? No one knew the login to it, and no one knew how to hack into it. So it was pretty weird. And so yeah, thank you for watching, everyone, and stay safe out there. It can be pretty creepy out there. And yeah, thank you for listening to my story. And I hope you all will like and subscribe, because I have been through very much with me and my friends. And yeah, see you, everyone. Bye-bye.